The Gautrain project is underpinned by 385 legal agreements. The principal contracts are the concessionary agreement that includes the patronage guarantee, the turnkey contracts for civil construction, engineering and maintenance, and the operations and management contract. The concession agreement had initially been crafted based on a standard public-private partnership arrangement. Early on in the process, a decision to draft a bespoke contract was made and initiated. Now, the sponsors sought to ensure that at its core, the concession contract captured what needed to be done, by whom, and importantly, it expressed what would happen when things went wrong. Some of the players described it as a very strict anti-nuptial contract. And the concession sought to align stakeholder interests by structurally embedding incentives and penalties that would encourage specific outcomes. The national and provincial principles driving the project were really hard-nosed regarding this approach. One of them argued, anyone who tells you the private sector performs exceptionally, just because they're the private sector, they're talking nonsense. It's rubbish. The private sector performs because it's incentivized to perform, and it's not disincentivized not to do something. So incentives that were included the patronage agreement that we spoke about earlier, and also some of the conditional arrangements regarding meeting operational targets. And these included, for instance, having 98.5% availability and achieving 95% punctuality. The selection process for the successful bidder initially expected each bidder to bear the costs of bidding, the full costs. But this was amended because it was believed that because these costs were so large, bidders would backload much of the technical and the design work, and it would slow down the execution of the project. So backloading key aspects of the project design to post-successful bid application posed the risk that the bid price would grow up significantly and prematurely as a result of inaccurate and unworkable assumptions compromising the execution. At the same time, the sponsors sought to ensure that the bidding process remained competitive, and they tried to retain as many credible bidders as possible. So they resolved this need to maintain a competitive tension by really agreeing to carry some of the bidding costs themselves. And this assisted in speeding up the project when it was ultimately commissioned, because key aspects of the design work had already been completed. As highlighted in the contract section, the contracts for civil construction, engineering and maintenance, and the operations and management contract were turnkey arrangements, and they dispersed the risk from the sponsors and made sure that specific and explicit goals and performance metrics were met. Now, the fulfillment of the contractual arrangements was verified by 3 independent monitoring bodies. There was the certifier, who is responsible for determining completion of the works. The socio-economic monitor reported on the socio-economic benefits derived from the project throughout its various stages. And the environmental control person monitored and reported on the environmental impact of the project.